In Brazil, a political controversy has erupted among the parades and parties in Rio de Janeiro's carnival celebrations. Several floats built by a samba school honoring President Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva towered over the city on Sunday night. Well, that tribute is now under fire for what critics call illegal early campaigning before an election.
A glowing tribute to Brazil's president has cast a political shadow over Rio de Janeiro's biggest party. The parade, put on by a top samba school, featured several floats depicting Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva's life, from his childhood right through to his presidency.
We wanted to tell the story of a man who did a lot for the poor and for Brazil.
It's the first time a sitting president has been honoured at Carnival. The floats, costumes and songs were nothing but praise, but made no explicit mention of October's election, when the 80-year-old leader is seeking a fourth term.
It's not a campaign, it's a narrative, and it tells the life story of a warrior who, despite all obstacles, reached the presidency.
Lula's political opponents are not convinced. They say Sunday's performance was veiled electioneering. A float seeming to depict jailed former President Jair Bolsonaro as a clown behind bars has only added fuel to the fire. Some of Lula's political opponents had tried to block the parade going ahead, arguing it gave Lula an unfair advantage through early campaigning, and pointing out that samba schools receive public funding. Brazil's top electoral court rejected those complaints on Thursday, ruling they could not censor a samba school before the parade, but said they might review the case if electoral laws were violated during the performance.
João Soares is a journalist and joins me now from Rio de Janeiro. João, welcome. You know, here in Germany, carnival floats are typically used to criticize those in power, often pointedly and crudely. These in Rio were praising the president and mocking his rival. Does that represent some kind of taboo in Brazil?
The carnival in Brazil, especially in Rio, has already presented a lot of tributes to historical figures of Brazilian society. Yesterday, famous Brazilian singer Ney Mato Grosso was also tributed in the avenue, but and another former presidents were already gifted with tributes from samba schools, but when they were no longer in life. In Lula's case, it's controversy because it's an electoral year, so it was not a decision of the president, but he accepted to receive this tribute from this school, Acadêmicos de Niterói, in its first year in the special league. So they wanted to present something that would call attention, and they did it. But now a lot has been discussed about the possible legal problems around this parade.
You sort of touched on this, but how should we understand this float? Is it the Lula government looking for avenues to bolster his image? Or is it truly this publicly funded entity trying to stay in the good graces of the government?
It's important to explain that this public fund that goes to the samba schools comes from Rio State Council, not from the national government. So this association of economic power and political profit is kind of very, very fragile so far. But we can say that in an electoral year, it's complicated when a samba school in such a public event seen by the whole world pays a tribute to a president in power, which is running for re-election. It's correct that the parade focused on Lula's life, Lula's story of poverty overcome, syndical struggle, but Lula's electoral number was printed in some costumes. Lula's historical jingle was part of the samba sang by the school. So it's delicate.
All right, briefly, João, we just have a little bit of time. Does this represent perhaps a larger problem in Brazil, and that is the polarization of areas once off limits to politics? Briefly, if you could.
Yeah, Brazil has been even more polarized in the last years, and it's reaching broad areas of the society. It's clear that in this electoral year, the temperature will get heater the closer we get to the elections in October. And if this really becomes a problem in the electoral court, this parade can create big problems for Lula. So far, it's not clear.
Okay, that's journalist João Soares in Rio de Janeiro. João, thank you very much.
Thank you.